Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's episode with Chloe Trouty. Today I'm going to be talking about the sacredness of marriage. For me, I believe marriage is a spiritual thing. It's not just an ordinary coming together. It's so spiritual that it helps you to build your mental and spiritual emotions. Marriage is a sacred union designed by the Creator, a reflection of His love and commitment to His people. It is a covenant relationship that calls us to sacrificial love, selflessness, and mutual support in a world that often prioritizes self-gratification. Marriage is meant to show the beauty and sacrificial love. It is difficult to comprehend. It provides us with the opportunity to balance the male and female energies within ourselves. Marriage can help us to develop qualities within ourselves that we need for our own inner balance. True word, man. And it helps us for further spiritual growth if you understand what you're doing. Those of you that are in marriage, if you understand what you're doing, it helps you to, further your spiritual growth. You see, this happens as a couple engages in their spiritual life together on a daily basis. Today, as we speak, the Indians still respect marriage and keep it sacred. Till today, marriage is still preserved value in Indian society. That you must know. Not only in India, in Australia, and other countries. Marriage is still considered as a sacrosanct in India, particularly in rural and town areas. The Indians respect their marriages very well. If you watch some of their movies, and if you are conversant with their tradition, you know that they respect marriages very well. They don't want to give up on it. They do it as it is supposed to be done. But not everywhere in India, because these days, Western civilization is coming into town. And because of that, a lot of tradition are being put aside. But nevertheless, the Indians, the fact that these things are negatively influencing marriage, they still hold their marriage tradition in high esteem. They respect their marriages very well. Very well. Religious practices govern marriages, inheritance, etc. Don't forget, like I said, they still respect their marriages very well. Though, despite the fact that they respect their marriages very well, like I was trying to explain the influence of Western civilization. To sum up the whole stuff, there's certainly some erosion of the sacramental value of marriage in modern India, owing to influences of westernization. Urbanization is another thing too, and affecting the sacred nature of marriage. And legal reforms. You make a law, So these things affect negatively the tradition surrounding marriage in a different culture, custom, and what have you. Despite this, like I said before, marriage hasn't become purely contractual in India. No. They still hold marriage in high esteem. They still respect their marriages. And they want to go for it as it is supposed to be done. Marriage is a very, very important aspect of our spiritual life. Because when two people come together, there's this tendency that they become one, spiritually and physically, if you can see that. Spiritually, they are one. That's what marriage does. That's why today people see marriage as an institution that you don't graduate from. It is for better, for worse. Till death do us part, and that is marriage. And we have to stay put because it has spiritual inclination. So if you don't have this ideology, you don't have this mind of marriage, you don't understand what marriage is all about, you don't have to go into it. Understand what marriage is all about before you step into it. Of course, yes. Marriage predates Christianity by thousands of years. It predates religion by thousands of years. The Aboriginal people of Australia have a strong marriage tradition. A society that dates back at least 30,000 years. That's wow. 30,000 years. They still hold this practice as strong as they can. They don't want to adulterate it. And they still do it as it's supposed to be done. They do it according to their own tradition, according to their marriage rights, according to the laws of the tradition. Marriage is very important to understand. It has a spiritual feeling because it is spiritual. Marriage is innately sacred. The Creator Himself, in constituting marriage, decree that sanctity be one of its essential notes. In other words, there abides in all marriage something holy, not derived from man, but implanted by nature's God, such as always been the expected and accepted opinion of mankind. What we call the sacred symbolic marriage, which was done or is still being done right now in ancient Greek. It was being done by the Greek people, the ancient Greek, they call it holy marriage, holy symbolic marriage. It is a sacred marriage that takes place between the gods, especially when enacted in a symbolic ritual where human participants represent the deities. It is so sacred that they do everything possible to make it pure and holy. It's called holy marriage. The sacred symbolic marriage. Marriage is so symbolic. Marriage is so spiritual. Marriage is not a normal thing that you just have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend and you think you can stay together just like that without getting into marriage. The marriage cements both of you together. It brings you under one spiritual umbrella and you become one in the eyes of the Creator. But in our today world, in our today's world, things have been done differently. Marriages have been conducted differently, and people tend to lose that gravity, that commitment about marriage. They tend to lose the self-centeredness, the ability to entangle with each other. And they lose the spiritual aspect of it. The physical aspect of it will not last. Once you lose the spiritual aspect of it, the physical aspect of it will not last. That's the truth. Today, marriage is necessary, but people don't take it seriously. Having a spouse who gives you emotional and physical support can help you live a longer, happier, and healthier life. So find the stability and companionship of marriage beneficial to their overall well-being. For some, being married is integral to having children together and growing a family. So we have different reasons why we go into marriage. Some, they want to have children, and some, they need a companion. But the fear of being committed to one another is another thing that can break marriages apart. So it is from both sides. You need to put everything you got as a man, as a woman, together. Put everything you got in your marriage to make it a successful one. Now, because marriage is sacred and it is from the Creator, and I believe spiritually that the Creator has made it clear that marriage is supposed to be holy, and should be treated with respect. The sanctity of marriage used to be pure and unconditional. Yes, couples already face challenges from their different corners, but divorce wasn't the first thing that would come to their mind. When you get into marriage, the first time you're stepping into marriage, when you are saying, I do, that time you're saying, I do, you are getting into another realm of life. It's like someone who's taking an oath to say, I stay put, and never to go back. So when you say I do, that means you've checked yourself and you've written out that this thing you're about to do is to the end of days. People get into marriage today saying I do, and after 1 year the I do becomes I don't. After 2 years the I do becomes I don't. Why? Because there is no spiritual meaning. There is no spiritual inclination between the marriage. They lack the understanding surrounding their marriage. And so, saying I do at the first time was done because they see other people getting into marriages. They've seen their friends getting married. They've seen their brothers getting married. Their parents are pushing them, go and get married. You're getting old. Or they've seen someone who they love. They don't want to lose him. They don't want to lose her. They want to tie the knots as fast as quickly as possible. And they say, I do. And after some time, the I do begins to change because they now realize that that is not the right time for them. But it's too late. And that is why you begin to see divorces everywhere. You don't have to say I do until you're ready. When you're ready, you can say I do. And then you want to say it in the church, in the Hindu kind of religion, in traditional form, anywhere. Your I do should be checked before saying it. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but it becomes hard if you don't understand the spiritual guidelines about marriage. A lot of things can quench marriage. Arguments, infidelity, lack of respect, a lot of stuff. But when you have the spiritual inclination of all of these about marriage, you won't have these things in your marriages. There is no marriage that is perfect. Don't forget about that. But it depends on how you handle it. Are you physically ready? Are you mentally ready? Are you spiritually ready to take care of your marriage? To understand your marriage? Because the more you understand your marriage, the more perfect it becomes. The more good, the more rosy, the more beautiful it becomes. First, understand the spiritual meaning of marriage. It's going to help you a lot. And finally, my beloved viewers, marriage was sacred. Even in the Bible, it talks about sacred for Adam and Eve. And it's sacred today for husband and wife. Every marriage has a divine purpose. It has significance. It sets the union of two people spiritually and fulfills another divine purpose to establish family, and it's spiritual, including children that are raised to love and honor the Creator. The process of establishing children alone is spiritual. Spiritual. So everything that surrounds marriage is spiritual. You tend to see the physical aspect of it. You see how it's being done. You living together with your spouse. Physical. You see your children. Physical. But the spiritual aspect of it you don't see. Because it's what you must know. And the spiritual aspect of it is what guides the marriage. It was put the marriage together. It was cement the marriage. This you must understand. You must know. I'll leave you here until I come your way again. I am Claude Trouty. Peace and love.